Hi everyone, today we are going to talk about object-oriented concepts. There are four of them and we are going to start with abstraction. So if we take as an example a real-world object such as car, we can say that car has multiple properties such as color, brand, a number of doors, some kind of mechanical parts and much more. When we are about to model that car inside our code, we are going to model only the things that are important to us, such as color and brand in this case. So what we did abstraction over the car, because we are modeling only the subset of the properties of the actual physical car. So we did abstraction, and we modeled only the necessary things for our application, in this case color and brand. And we have as well some kind of method which is going to start the engine. It doesn't really matter speaking of abstraction. So as we mentioned, we did abstraction because we are modeling only the subset of the properties of the actual car. Abstraction is achieved in C# specifically by using abstract keyword. We can achieve pretty much the same using the interfaces and so on, but the general idea could be applied to any other object-oriented programming language. Next one could be encapsulation. So encapsulation is there to hide complexity, and there is some way of achieving data access flexibility. So if we take a look at this example, we have a car which has its own color and it has brand. So as you can see, the car has two fields which are private, which means that we cannot access them. We have a getter and setter, but in case of color, we are going to have only the getter, which means that we cannot set the color of the car. So we achieved some kind of data access flexibility because we are not allowing someone to set the color of the car. We only have the getter of the color. Speaking of the real world example of the encapsulation, we can start the car without knowing the details of what happens under the hood when we start the car. So that's one example of encapsulation in real world. Also, when we have some kind of logic grouped, it's much easier to test it out. So it's easier to test it, and the encapsulation is usually achieved in C# specifically by using access modifiers such as private, protected, and so on. Next one could be inheritance. I've covered inheritance in one of my previous videos, so feel free to take a look at that, but we are going to go through it over again. So basically, inheritance is there to make code reusable and much more readable. So we have some kind of class called car, which is in this case parent class. It has some kind of common fields for the car. We don't have all the properties of the car, but we have some of them such as color and brand. And we have some kind of method. So there is a child class called electric car, which is going to inherit car, which means that it's going to inherit all the properties and methods. And we are going to add one more property called battery capacity, because the electric car has battery capacity. So that will be pretty much it speaking of inheritance. The next one could be polymorphism, actually the last one. So polymorphism is allowing us to have multiple implementation of the same method. So how we are going to achieve that in C# specifically? So we have a virtual keyword, which is going to allow us to override the method in the child classes. So this is the parent class. We have a child class which is going to inherit the parent class, and we are going to override the implementation. Method has exactly the same name and it has exactly the same signature, but we are going to override the implementation by using override keyword. So we can do whatever we want inside the implementation of the method. Same goes for the car, gas car, which will have some kind of implementation specific for gas cars, let's say. It doesn't really matter, this is just an example. I would say that's pretty much it speaking of object-oriented principles. It's very important to know how to properly use them and apply them in order to pull most out of the object-oriented programming language. So that will be pretty much it. I hope that you enjoyed in this video and see you in the next one.